something might just have to happen. So I stream on LinkedIn for just a little reason. We couldn't connect. But now today we are able to stream on LinkedIn. So my name is Michael Quadri. People call me Michael Homan. I'm the founder of TumiHub. Yeah, I'm so glad to have founded TumiHub. Although my job there is just a little compared to what the old team are actually doing. We are really grateful to have everyone. So we've been doing this. Let me just give you a background story. We've been doing this since 2016, September 2016, and I remember how we started with just going to second. I remember the first ever session we have was four people going to a secondary school. Actually, we started with my own secondary school where I graduated from, and it was a wonderful session, very lovely session. The four of us that started had a great time in the school, and then in 2018 we moved to WhatsApp. We started WhatsApp part of it. That's where we're using WhatsApp as our media channel, and it's been great. The team is there was a time we have over 200 team members. It was a lot, and it's not easy to manage a lot of people. So, but as time goes on, here we are having a live session. This is the second of the live sessions we've had uh, using both LinkedIn and YouTube. So let me confirm if I'm not speaking with myself. Maiwa, can you confirm? Because I guess my screen. All right, if you can just say hi, if you can hear me.
Hi, hi.
Maiwa, are you
I
there?
can I can actually hear you from here.
Can see chat trying to chat me.
I can
Oh,
hear you. I can hear you.
all right. So I'm not sure if you can hear me. I want to see you in the chat box. I think I'm better now. If you can hear me, I want
Yes,
to see the chat box.
yes, we can hear
I
you.
want to see what you're saying in the chat box. So I just need to confirm if somebody is hearing me. Okay. All right. So I can see that somebody is hearing me. Okay. Right. Great. So today we're starting with our first speaker, Emem Ohimai Ayo. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that very well. So Ayo is an exceptionally anointed, pardon me, as a builder and an equiper of women and couples. She's passionate about spicing up lives and marriage. She's the president and founder of Praying Moms and Wife, PMW. She's also a USA and Nigeria certified marriage mentor and master mentor. She's a relationship mentor by the Institute of Marriage and Family Affairs, TIMFA, USA, and also certified as Goals Success Coach. And she's also certified as Group Coaching Facilitator. Through our platform, Blissful Marriages, she has worked with individuals and couples all over the world through counseling, through coaching, through webinars and trainings, helping them connect, communicate, and commit to a love that stands the test of time. Through our coaching platform, Goals Activation Inner Circle, she has worked with women around the world, helping them to divorce small-mindedness, fall in love with, who they truly are, and serve the world with their best self and powers. An author of 6 books, Emem drives pleasure in sharing the father's heart for marriage or marriages and preparing couples for the move of God in their home. She is blissfully married to Gideon Ohimai Ayo, popularly known as Jesus, a renowned music minister and saxophonist. They are both blessed with 2 awesome children, King David and Ariella. Shall I say with Jesus' joy? All right, let's welcome in at the count of 5, actually. Let's welcome Hayo. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me here. Thank you, Mr. Michael. Such a great job that you're doing with the Tumi Hub. God bless you and keep enriching you and your entire team. You guys are doing an amazing job, and thank you for this opportunity to be here tonight. Hey, guys, how are we doing today? What's up? What's up? What's up? Who's ready to talk about relationships and building relationship, networking, and love? All right, so just chill, take a notepad so that you can jot down a few things that would really help you on the journey called life. So, like you already heard, my name is Emem, and I'm here to just give you a few tips to climb up the ladder in terms of building relationship with people and, of course, the love relationship. I like to start talk about networking. That's building other relationship aside from the love. Then I'll tie it up with the love. Are we game? If you're ready, let me see. You're ready. So first of all, networking is simply about exchanging connections, exchanging ideas, exchanging information, meeting people that are very critical to where you want, to the point that you want to go to where you want to get to in life, right? And in every area of life, you would agree with me that you cannot do life on your own. There's no way you can't do life on your own. You need people to move from point A to point B. You need people to be able to access some information, some kind of knowledge, some kind of connections, some kind of even financial benefits. You need people in your life. So this is why networking is very critical. And I'd like to start by saying this. Networking is not for people who are extroverts. We usually say, oh, these ones, they can easily make friends. They don't have an issue. They are they are the life of the party and all of that. No, networking is for you to, even if you are an introvert. Thank God we have social media, several platforms that can help us connect with people, even though you are an introvert. It can help you, when you share your thoughts with people, you can easily get people to connect with you as well. So networking is for everybody, and networking is not. Sometimes today, when we talk about networking, what people think about is bring 2 people get 10 and all of that. No, that's not that's not what we're talking about tonight. What we're talking about tonight is actually building critical and important relationships in your life, be it professionally, be it socially, or otherwise. So that's the networking I'm talking about here. Now, what are some of the benefits? Like I said before, you need people to advance from one level to the next level. So networking gives you the opportunity to have access to knowledge that you wouldn't have known. Some of you came here because you had a friend who invited you, right? Some of you came here because you paid attention to social media, to what is happening, right? So you're coming here tonight, you're going to gain knowledge. You're like the speaker that spoke yesterday, a lot of us gain so much knowledge from there. if you didn't have that friend or that contact in your on your phone, you wouldn't know about this event. So networking opens you to new knowledge, to fresh ideas. Because sometimes when you get into meetings, webinars, online sessions like this, you would definitely see yourself getting new ideas, getting, you see, fresh ideas. Oh wow, I never thought of this. Oh wow, I never thought of this. And you use that to advance what in your level of knowledge or whatever you decide to do with your life, right? In terms of your goals, in terms of your visions, in terms of your purpose, in terms of your aspirations, in terms of your job, your career, your business, whatever you may be doing. So it helps you for as career and for career advancement. It helps you to be visible. The more people get to know you, the more you connect with other people, the more they get to know what you do. Someday, even though they don't need what your service or what you sell or what you do, someday they're going to meet another person who is going to need your service. And guess what? When they know you, they know what you do, you're most likely going to be the first person on their mind, especially when you're excellent in what you do. So you see, networking gives you visibility. It helps you also build confidence when you get to know more people, and especially if you have a skill, you have some knowledge to share, you have fresh ideas to share, you're doing something. It encourages you and builds you up when you have people who say, yeah, you're doing well, you're doing good, I appreciate what you're doing, and all of that. It also helps you develop personal relationships with people because, like I said before, this is very key in advancing in life. So there are several benefits of networking. So this is how you should get on into networking. How do I start, Coach Emem? I don't even like talking to people. I don't even like being in rooms where there are so many people. Well, let me tell you, you don't have to start from there. You can start from somewhere. You can start from your room with your phone, right? You have social media platforms. You have, some of us are in groups and we never even say any word on those groups. Some of us are part of communities and we never even put a comment, or even like a post, or even share something to that community that makes sense, right? So these are other ways that you can network. If you're saying, oh, I feel anxious when I'm in a room full of people, and trying to connect with other people physically is a challenge, you can start online. You can start somewhere. Once you start online and you build up on that, you build up on yourself, you build up on your I am statement, like creating something that you can easily say to someone in 2 seconds. This is who I am. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I have to offer. You should always have at the back of your mind that networking is not just about what you want to get from people. It is actually mostly about what you have to offer to people. People are going to remember you for what you have to offer to them, not the other way around, right? So always have that at the back of your mind. So you can create a simple I am statement. Who am I? So that statement should include your name, should include in a few words what you do. And when I say what you do, you don't just say I'm a carpenter or I'm an engineer, right? No, go on to share the value that you bring to people with your work, the service that you offer to people, what they stand to benefit when they get in touch with your service, when they get in touch with your business or whatever you do, right? So let it be something like, I am Emem Ayo, and I help couples renew their love. I help couples have an exciting marriage. I help this, I help that, right? You see? So I didn't just say, hi, I'm a marriage counselor. No. So state, what solution are you providing? That's why you need to be clear about who you are, what you have to offer, and what value you're providing for people. Now, so how do you network? First of all, you have to make sure that you are networking on purpose. This is why you need to be clear. What exactly do you want to achieve? Do you want to build lasting relationships professionally, socially, people who you can even form friendships with, right? So what is your purpose? Why do you want to network? Get it clear. Make it so clear. Write the vision and make it plain. What do you want to get out of this? Then sit down to say, who are the kind of people I would like to be in their circle? Who are those people that inspire you? So networking is in three different tiers. So you have the up level where you have a mentor, a coach, a teacher, someone that you look up to, someone that you look up to. You want to be like them, or you see that they are doing something that you're passionate about, and you want to just something about them. You just love something about them, and you would like to get into their circle. Define those people. Who are they? What do they offer to the world? What is attracting them to you? What is it about them that you love so much? Why do you want to get into their circle? So you have that, the top tier. Then you have the second tier, which is your peers. This is where you form destiny, friendships, partnerships, alliances, that helps you build up your dreams, helps you build up your goals, help you to, work together, right? And then you have the third tier, which is the way who you're serving, because you can't just focus on up and second and abandon the third. We were made for service, every one of us. There are people that you were born to serve, and serving can be in different ways. It can be with your giftings, your talents, your dreams, your ideas, and all of that. So even don't say I'm too young to think about that. You're not too young to think about that. Don't say, oh, I'm just off. I just got off school. Let me think of my life first. You're thinking of your life, but you're also going to think about what is the lasting influence or lasting impact I'm going to leave in the world. It starts today. It starts right now. Right now. So define these three categories. Who are the people I'm looking up to? What do they have that I need from them? What do they have that I love about? Why? What's that connection? What's attracting us to each other? Or what is attracting me to? Because for now they don't know you exist, right? So how do you now, when you define that and you see it, so go on and search about them. Now let me tell you the thing that most young people do that can be so wrong when it comes to networking with the tier one set of people, that is mentors and coaches. So you see someone, you admire them, they're doing so well with their work, or they're doing so well with whatever they're doing, and you want to be like them. And the next thing you go, hello ma, please, can you mentor me? Or hello sir, please, can I come into your DM so you can mentor me? Nah, trust me, just as you say to, there are several other people sending them the same DM. What makes you think they're going to choose you? So how do you set yourself apart? Number one, come with the mindset of service. First of all, sending that DM should not even be the first thing on your mind. Even though you check through their profiles and everything, you be like, oh, this is the person I've been waiting for to mentor me, to coach me, to lead me, to hold my hands and, lead me into the kind of life I desire to have. Sending them that DM should not be the first thing you do. The first thing you should do is go on and read about them. Go on and read about them. Like, study them like you're studying a book. Study the way they post. If they have books, buy it. If they have webinars, go for it. If they have things that they are doing, get in as much as you can. And if you can't get in for the paid stuff, try to get in for the free stuff. Some way, somehow, try to get in. Now, when you get in, study them. You're getting in not just to learn from them, but to also study them. What are some of their pain points? Sometimes when they're having these trainings and teachings, they mention it casually. Write them down. Write them down. Don't listen like everybody's listening, and at the end of the session you say, wow, you blessed me, ma, thank you so much for that session, I'm going to do this. No. Pay attention to some of their pain points. Now, when you list them out, what are some of the solutions that you can offer them in your little corner? In your little corner. So imagine Mr. A says, "Hello, Ma, can you mentor me? I need you to mentor me. My life is a mess. Please, I need you to make my life right." And then Mr. B comes in and says, "Hello, Ma, I've watched you from afar for so time. I really admire the work you do with young people or with marriages or with love. I really love what you're doing. I noticed that this is the I would like to volunteer my service in this area or in this area if you don't mind. I know that this volunteering opportunity will get me to learn a lot from you personally and also grow, but I'd also love to be of service to you. If you were the one, if you were this mentor in question, which would you go for?" You have the answer. So that's it. So that's why that mentor is not replying your DMs. That's why they're not replying your WhatsApp messages. And for some of us, so you have the opportunity to have this person's WhatsApp message, and then you start bugging them with broadcast, and you start because you want them to see you. No, they're not going to see you that way. They're going to block you. They're going to block you. They're not going to see you that way. The only way they're going to see you is if you're easing a problem. It's either you pay for their service, for their mentorship or their coaching, or you serve. These are the two options, the two healthy options. And when you do get this opportunity, and this person is warming up to you, this mentor is warming up to you, this coach is warming up to you, and you know, giving you their time, please do not abuse that time. Do not abuse that time. First of all, let's get rid of the mindset that everybody owes you everything. Nobody owes you nothing. Right? Do you agree with me? Well, so no, they don't owe you. They don't owe you to spend hours on the phone calling you and you telling them all about your problems. No. And some of us who even get angry because, oh, she used to celebrate this other person. She did not even celebrate me on my birthday. She's not my mentor too. Are you for real? What are you looking for from this person? You have to be very clear on what roles each person play in your life. Guys, this is a game changer. Do not expect your mentor, your coach, your teacher to become your friend. Two different things. Know your friends, know who your friends are, and know who your mentors are. Your mentors, your coaches, your teachers are not your friends. They are not your friends. They're not here to pity you. They're not here to patronize you. They're not there to make you feel good about yourself. They're there to make you grow. And you have to know that you have to just get it at the back of your mind. So what if your mentor didn't call you on your birthday? So what? So what? If you actually want your mentor to bless you on your birthday, you should let them know that today is your birthday. Instead of feeling entitled, oh, but why is she saying that she did not see my WhatsApp status? Hello? No. So let's dump this mindset where we expect things from people who have a defined role for you, and you expect them to become your friends. Your mentor is not your friend, neither is she or she your accountability partner, except it's stated in the terms of engagement, right? So define your relationships. Your friends are your friends. Your mentors are your mentors. Your coaches are your coaches. Your followers are your followers. Should never be mixed up. Should never be mixed up. Also, don't waste their time. Time is precious. And I just want to say to every young people, let's value time. Let's value other people's time, especially the people that you call mentors, that you call teachers, that you call coaches. Respect your time. Respect their time. Stop springing up excuses here and there. So a mentor gives you a book to read, and I've seen this happen severally with people who come up to me and be like, "Oh, I want you to do you know." He's sending you materials, or she's sending you materials to study and get back to them with on a certain timeline, and you just go mute. Are you for real? Then 3 months later, you appear back. Oh ma, I wanted to ask you a question. I went to this. This guy was just toasting me. He was just toasting me. He was just toasting me. I didn't know what to do. Please advise me. Well, if you had read the book I told you to read, you would have gotten the advice you're looking for. Value their time. Anybody that you call a mentor, you call a coach. So we're talking about networking, and we're talking about the tier one networking, which is people that you look up to, your mentor, your coaches, how to build healthy and lasting relationships with them. Don't waste their time. And the last point I want to make on this is honor them. Honor them. Honor your mentors, honor your coaches. This is what endears you more and more and more, and they let you into their inner circle. I have so many daughters today who have become so dear to my heart that I can do almost anything for them as if I'm doing it for my biological child. Why? Because they know how to honor. They know how to appreciate. So your mentor, even if it's 5 minutes, they are giving you of their time, and they are telling you things to do. They are mapping out strategies for you, and you yourself, you're saying, what is it? Even it's only 5 minutes you can spare for me. What? What if it was to charge you for that 5 minutes? Would you know how much that would be? So honor your mentors. Don't take it for granted that someone is willing to spend their time to talk to you, is willing to spend their time to educate you, to map out strategies to you, or to even connect you with someone. Some of us get it wrong here. Your mentor is connecting you with someone else who is going to help you in another area of life, and you abuse that relationship in so much that it affects your mentor's relationship with the other person. That's not honor. And that's not right. What you're doing is that you're actually closing the door for other people, because next time that particular mentor will be very careful not to do such things for people anymore. So let's be very intentional about honoring the people that we look up to and we have access to. Don't take it for granted. Don't do see finish with this set of people. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Honor them, and also honor them. You can honor them with gifts. And you say, oh, I've not started earning money. I don't have money. Hey, you have money to buy data. You can send them 1,000 naira recharge card or 500 naira recharge card for those of us in Nigeria. As little as that. It goes a long way to say, I am not taking you for granted, ma. I'm not taking you for granted, sir. I am grateful for the time that you spare for me. The next point, the tier 2 level of networking, is friendships, building friendships. Gosh, building intentional, purposeful, and divine friendships is so good. Guys, let's stop building friends that are just for gossips. All you do is gossip here and there. All you do is club. Oh, it's Friday night. Thank God it's Friday. Where we partying? If you are surrounded with such friends, you need to break it out today. Because the kind of friends that you surround yourself with, let me tell you, it matters. It shows where you're going to be tomorrow. So be very intentional about your friendships. Don't just let anybody become your friend. Your friendship should be valuable, should be mutually beneficial for both of you. All right? And I won't spend much time on that. But of course, building friendship can take some time, right? Because it starts first by meeting the person, building friendships, and exchanging value for with each other. And also watching out for toxic friends, don't let it happen to you. Don't let people who are toxic in their mindset, in the way they think, in the, some friends are so fearful, they now transfer that fear to you. So when you have a big dream, they're not able to see it. They'll be like, in this Nigeria it will not work, or in this Africa it will not work. Nah. So where are you going to? That's the first thing. Where are you going to? Where you're going to will determine the kind of friends you surround yourself with. And of course, the tier 3 already spoke about that in life we're made for impact, we're made to serve. You're going to, so pay attention to also the people you are called to serve. Tonight, well, maybe sometime you could sit down to write that down, based on your talents, based on your dreams, based on your visions, based on the goals that you have for yourself. Who have you been called to serve? You can itemize it and write them down. The next thing about networking, don't be selfish. It's not all about you. It's not all about you. Like I said, what value are you bringing to the table? Whether it's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, you need to bring value to the table. It's not just about what you can get from these people, but also about what they will get from you. And pray for your friend relationships, both the tier 1, the tier 2, the tier 3. It's so critical. Spend time to pray for your relationships. Just like you pray for your daily needs, you pray for your work, you pray for your parents, you pray for your siblings. For some of us who are married, you pray for your spouse. Deliberately pray for your relationships, and pray that you will not make mistakes, that mar destiny relationships, destiny connections. So my husband is a music artist, like you heard in the intro, right? He's a saxophonist. Yeah, he's a jazz music artist, and he had this friend, right, who knows what he does, and that friend happened to be where a music artist was discovered. We need a music artist to play for the Russian embassy and all of that. And the first thing, he called my husband, and that's how my husband got to play for the Russian embassy here in Nigeria. And from there, he moved to the British High Commission. He plays for their events. How did it happen? A friend, a destiny relationship. That's how you should know how important it is. One call can actually change your life, but you have to invest in those relationships. You can't expect to reap where you've not sown. And that's what most young people do too. You just want to reap where you've not sown. It's impossible. All right, so let's move to the are you with me, guys? Let's move to talking about love relationship. Yeah. Are you ready? So let's talk about love relationship. How do you build healthy love relationships? Okay, let's talk about it. So first of all, the first point I want to make is, hey, before you start building a love relationship, or even if you've started building a love relationship, can still slow down and take this advice of mine. Number one, you must invest in building your relationship with God. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. It doesn't matter. As long as you believe in God, I'm telling you, your relationship with God would actually help you to develop certain characters and attitudes that are very critical to building a healthy relationship. And if you look at getting married in the future, what are some of these attributes? Self-control. It's not a human thing. It's not in our flesh and blood. It's not. We are not naturally disciplined. We're not. We're only disciplined when there are laws, right? If you look at it, let me give you an instance. So for those of us who stay in Nigeria, we know that you can get away with almost any traffic offense, right? But these same Nigerians, when we go abroad, see how we will respect the traffic. Hey, red light, you stay there. Even yellow light, you will not move. You stay there, because you know what will happen if you try to. So it is what it is. We are not naturally disciplined. And when you have a good, deep relationship with God, not about what people say, not about what you've heard, not about what the preachers preach, not about that, but you have this one-on-one connection and relationship with God, it will motivate you to live right. It will be like a strength, an anchor for you to live right, for you to be disciplined, for you not to cheat on your partner, for you not to deceive your partner and do other things that will not help your relationship. It will also help you to forgive your partner, because guys, relationship demands forgiveness from us, especially in marriage. For those of us who look up to get married, or those of us who are married, you can tell already. Like, you're going to be forgiving your spouse or your partner every time. So, and it doesn't come naturally. This quote that says to err is human, but to forgive is divine. So this is why it's critical for you to build your relationship with God first, or at least go back there to building your relationship with God, even before you start to build a relationship with another person. But if you've built a relationship with another person, still fine. Start now. Start where you are. The second thing I want to say is, guys, know thyself. Know yourself. Know yourself and be grounded in who you are. I'm talking about wholeness. See, take the time to work on yourself. Most of us are carrying baggages from past experiences, even from our parents. Some of us are carrying daddy issues and mommy issues into relationships. I see it every day. And this thing is killing the life of marriages, killing the life of relationships. Some of us have trauma that are not dealt with. Some of us have baggages, emotional baggages that we're carrying on. And then we are triggered by every little thing that this person that you claim to love is doing to you or not doing. You're sucking out the life of your relationship when you do that. So take the time to heal, take the time to be whole, and take the time to know who you are. It's very critical. Now, let me tell you why it's also critical before you even go further into building a very committed relationship to know yourself and to be fixed in. Love has a takeover spirit in that sense. Love can take over you, that if you're not grounded in who you are, you're going to find yourself constantly being disloyal to yourself, being disloyal to God in order to please someone else. Do you get me? This is why it's critical, because love can create an imbalance. It can create an imbalance in other areas of our lives. You see, especially when it's fresh. You see, it can take over you before you even know. So it's very critical that you are fully grounded. And how do you know yourself? I first spoke about healing first, but you have to even know that there's something that you're carrying. Maybe you need to get a journal and write about yourself, write about your experiences, note some words that we say to you, so that you even know if there is something I'm carrying that I don't even know that I need to heal from. And take the time to heal. Healing doesn't take a minute. Sometimes you may need a coach, you may need a therapist, to get through some of those phases. But it's worth it at the end. So know yourself. Who are you? Who are you? What are your personalities? What are your temperament? What are your love languages? What are your apology languages? Like, know yourself in and out. What triggers you? What are your values? What are your standards? What do you desire? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? What are your big dreams, your small dreams, and all your dreams combined together? You have to know it so well, because it leads me to my next point. Know who you want. Who do you want to love, or who are you loving? For those of us who are single, then you have to define this person. Who is this person? Because when you know who you are, you know who you should be with. Yes, And I'm not talking about dark, tall, and handsome, or I have to have the hottest girl. All I want is a Kim Kardashian in, how do they say it? All I want is a Messi Chinwo in Kim Kardashian's body. No, it's not about that. It's about values. What drives this person? What kind of man am I looking up to see? You know, who am I becoming with this person? What are some of his mindsets? You can't say you want to date a guy who doesn't believe in gender, who believes in gender roles, and then when you get married to this person, you're expecting them to go into the kitchen and cook for you. Hello. So build the picture of what you want, what you desire, and speak it forth. But you can't do that if you don't know who you are, and you don't know what drives you, and you don't know what you want, and you don't know what you want out of life. So it starts from there first. Then you know who you want to be in love with, who you want to love, who you want to settle down with, who you want to build something worthwhile with. Okay, what are their backgrounds? What are their experiences? What are their mindsets? What are their temperaments as well? What are their personalities? How does this align with who I am? What are their desires? What are their faith beliefs? What are their belief system? What drives them? What are they passionate about? What are they interested in? Okay. And you can't say, oh, my standard is that I'm going to pursue sexual purity in my relationship until I get married. And then you want to be with someone who doesn't believe in sexual purity, who tells you, hell no, I have to test before we get married. Those values don't align. And let me tell you, sex is not love and love is not sex. Nah. Mm-mm. 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 But let's not go. My time is almost running up, so let's not go there. Let me just finish my point here, and we'll probably talk about sex some other time. So, number one, know your God, invest in your relationship with God, know yourself, behold, heal, behold, and know who you love. Very critical. And the last point I want to share with you tonight is commit to growing together. That's speaking to the people who are already in a relationship. Commit to grow together. A lot of people are married to a version of their spouse that no longer exists. It's sad. What I mean is this: because this person was like this when you started dating, this person has grown and has changed and has grown and has evolved, but you still have the picture of that same person you fell in love with 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and you believe that you're married to that person. And what does this happen? It brings friction here and there, and you don't even know what's happening. Like, we were so in love, girl. Someone is growing and the other person is not. The other person is not. So commit to growing together. This is how you build a beautiful love relationship. Don't stay stuck. There are principles, I'm telling you, and you have to commit to learning them. Don't just say, is it not just we love each other? That's all that matters. That's not all that matters. And I bet you those of us who are married will tell you that it's not all that matters. So many other things matters. And that's what you need to invest your time and attention in. What do you do when you go out on dates? Is it just to go and eat and be looking at each other and say, I love you so much. I can't imagine my life without you. How will I survive without you? That's beautiful. But guess what? There's more. You need to communicate. You need to talk. Talk about things. Talk about your dreams. Ask them questions. Ask them questions about their faith, about their background, about their experiences, how this mold them, and watch out for red flags, guys, and ladies as well. Watch out for red flags. So many people that I counsel in marriage counseling didn't have any business getting married, but because they were not paying attention, they just allowed love take over them like a roller coaster, and they thought love was all that matters. Hey, love is not all that matters. A lot of other things matter. So pay attention to your relationship. Pay attention to growing together. Pay attention to building up what you have, and pay attention to growing. You can get a mentor, you can get a coach, you can get a counselor. And for those of us in a relationship already, don't say I do without taking a premarital counseling. Don't do it. Like, don't do it. Don't just do it. Invest in getting knowledge. All right. So I think I'm done for tonight. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. This is, in fact, I can't keep up with my jotting. I've tried to jot, I've been posting on WhatsApp. I can't keep up. It's really a lot, from networking to relationship. I see a lot of people ask all these questions. So, by the way, if you have a question, please ask in the comment box, so that I can share. And then, while we are doing that, let me continue my own love story. All right. So, as I was saying, the first thing you talked about, networking, very important. And I like all the points that you bring up. Every point, yeah, shouldn't be selfish. Selfishness is out of it. And a lot of people will come and say, it's not, it doesn't care about me and all of that. And then I see people that say, come and mentor me. Whereas what they are looking for is, it's not mentorship. They don't understand what mentorship is. So if you want mentorship and you are asking, you are demanding for all of this. So I really love all those points. And so I want to ask one funny question to connect mentorship with the love relationship. So two people of opposite sex start with mentorship. Is it possible to graduate from mentorship? Because one of my pastors shared one story. Our wife now with two kids are actually, he was the mentor of the lady before. So do you see something like that? Or what do you have to say about that? Any red flags or any green, green and red, yellow, everything that you can say about that? Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, it happens, and relationships are bound to graduate. So for some people, a lot of people move from mentorship to friends. Actually, it happens. Like when you bring so much value to the life of this person that they no longer even you see them start to share things with you that they should be sharing with their friends. And this is the person you called a mentor. So relationships can go into different things. It can also go into a love relationship along the line based on some connection that you guys had. It can go into a love relationship. There's no rule to what is right or what is wrong. No. In regards to that, it can happen. It can also grow to enmity. It can go from mentorship to like this person doesn't even want to see your call ever again. It can go. So relationship goes from one point to another, either for good or for bad. So yeah, it's bound to happen. It can happen. It can happen very well. And it's not right or wrong. It's just the flow of the relationship, how it's going. Yeah.
Oh. So any red flag, it's a little tricky there. That and we hear stories of how a mentor is taking advantage. Okay, it's a different thing to actually grow, and it's another thing to take advantage. So that's what I'm asking: is there a flag, any red flag to actually be aware of, especially if it's with an opposite sex? Is there any red flag to be
Mhm.
aware of? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, truthfully, there are so many mentors who do take advantage of their younger ones, and it can come in
Yeah.
different angles. It can even come from the sexually abusive angle. When you see, when a mentor starts to tell you to come and meet them in strange places, that's a red flag, right? When they start to tell, and another way they can abuse this relation or this honor that this person is giving to them is actually using them for mundane things, things like, come and wash my clothes for me. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that there should be boundaries there. Come and go and do this one for, I mean, there are things that, of course, especially if it's a professional, maybe in at work, and you look up to this person and you're learning from this person, there's bound to be that that um that bond of trust where this person says, okay, you're the only person I trust to get food for me. That's different. But when it becomes something that they now say, okay, after work, come to my house, come and pick up my car, go to the mechanic, drop, when you come back, go to the laundry, when you come back, go to the this one, when you come back, then you're just a glorified houseboy. You're no longer, they're not, that relationship has been abused. It's it's being taken out of proportion. And you should note that that's a red flag. So yes, some mentors do take advantage of their mentees. It happens, but sometimes some people don't mind, but sometimes you should mind. What I mean by mentees will like, well, since I'm still getting access to this, to that, I don't mind. As is a use me, I'm your bread, use you, and all of those slangs that we say. But then there has to be boundaries. Everybody has to be respected. It's not just the mentee that should respect the mentor. The mentor should also respect the mentee. Yeah.
Thank you
I
very
think
much.
we have a
Your,
question.
yeah, your last point actually answered my supposed second question. I was going to say that,
Okay.
there are times that it can be a flip. So maybe it's the mentee now that is trying to like, this, this mentee sees that this mentor is really big, and is a very good husband material or wife material, and then you
Mm-hmm.
want to kind of enter into, in fact, the essence of being a mentee was because he or she needs to like get closer to this person. But yeah, you mentioned that on the two sides there can be red flags. So there is a question here that says, how does one, from LinkedIn, say, how does one revive relationship with a senior colleague or a benefactor which was frozen due to lack of effective communication and attitude? That's from Emmanuel.
Okay. So the first thing is, hey, does this person even want to speak to you? Does this person want to revive this relationship? One thing about when you talk about conflict resolutions, it's the same thing like love relationship or any relationship, even parent and child relationship. Conflict resolution is critical. And first thing, there must be a desire. There must be a desire. There must be a desire from both parties to resolve this conflict. Now, if you don't know where that person is in that sense, if you don't know if this person is willing to, you can make an effort to speak to the person if you still have that connection with the person, whether it's physically or on the phone, to say, this is this. And you must know what happened, first of all. What happened? And you said it was lack of effective communication, right? So who wasn't communicating? Is it you or the mentor or the colleague or the benefactor who wasn't communicating effectively? Is it that some things were misunderstood? Then you can bring clarity. You can explain yourself. You can tell them your intentions, your motives, right? You can. Now, what I want to say is that you can't force people to be in a relationship with you. That's the first thing you should know. You can only try to amend the relationship if you believe that this relationship is something I need to be in. You can only try to mend that relationship, but you can't force him or her to want to come back to that relationship. It has to be it has to be mutually desired. So first off, if you can reach out to this person, reach out to them. Try to bare your heart to them. Try to apologize. There's no way defending. There's no point about defending yourself. Try to apologize if you were wrong, and even if you were not wrong, let them know that this was my intention with this and with that and without whatever went wrong. Explain yourself and let them know that I still appreciate you. I still appreciate the things that you do for me. And gradually, it may not be a one-time immediate, you know, solution. It may be that you have to gradually work yourself into this thing again. But if you sense that this person is already like, no, I'm done with you, please let it be and let yourself.
Right. That's that's a very, very good one. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
I hope I'm not echoing. But-
I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Okay, great, great. So, is there any other question before we say we bring up the second speaker for today? Very great one. Thank you very much for this class.
My
Networking,
pleasure.
relationship, friendship. So,
My pleasure.
I have a belief. Let me ask one more question. I have a belief that I don't want to go into a relationship with someone that I'm not, first of all, naturally become friends with that person without even any motive of entering into that relationship with that person. Right? I have a belief that I just want to build, connection with people, and we're just very good friends. And finally, I realized, okay, this person is, or it depends on our beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Some Christians believe God, man. But I just want it to come naturally, no motive behind. It's not like I already have a motive behind before, you know, no, not telling the person then go into friendship and all. No motive, just purely friends with people that are like minds. Then at the end of the day, there's a relationship that come out of one of those friendships. So, but I still want to say that this particular system, it doesn't work. I know I have a female friend. It actually does affect that. To you, you're just being a friend with this person, and then this person. So I just want to hear your view on that.
So, well, it's different. We can't generalize this, okay? But it's different for different people.
Uh-huh.
Some people happen to just come up as friends, and along the line they fall in love or they find themselves dating. But some people know from the get go that, hey, I like this guy or I like this lady. Take for instance, let me use myself as an instance. My husband and I met in our church, went to church together, but I was tripping for this guy. I know good lie. I was tripping
Uh,
for him, right? I was tripping for him. Like every time he goes up the stage, I was like, this guy is so much, it's so hot. But and and then, but I didn't say anything. Of course, I was so shy. I didn't say anything. But until he walked up to me one day, we just had a few conversation and all of that, and then we exchanged numbers. But I really liked him. There's nothing like friend. Of course, there's still that forming thing, like, hey, let me see if he likes me too and all of that. But then, from the get go, I didn't think about, I just want to be friends with this person. No, I know that I wanted to date this person. Like I wanted to be in a relationship with this guy. I liked him. And funny enough, we connected. He liked me too. So we just became friends for about a month, and we started dating officially. And we dated for like 1 year, 6 months before we got married. We've been married 9 years now. So it's different for everybody. It's different for everybody. You may want to say, I want us to be friends without having any motive. But some of us, we like the guy, we like the lady, and it still works. Yours will still work. Because what is working for us now is that we were during our dating period and even still in our marriage, we're very intentional about building the friendship. Do you get? We're now building that friendship inside the relationship.
Mm.
Friendship, I don't believe that friendship is something you build in just 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. Friendship is built continuously building it intentionally every single day. So even if we got married as good friends or we started dating as good friends, if we drift apart, if we're not building that relationship, if we're not taking time, if we're now carried away with work, carried away with the kids, that friendship will die. It will no longer be there. But they were intentional to say, hey, because we're married now doesn't mean we shouldn't be friends anymore. We should still be best of friends. So how do we get this done? We have to have time together. We have to have certain dates together. We have to play together. We have to do all those things. So you're still building the friendship. Yeah, that's what I would say on that.
Oh, I'm not so easy to crack, but you cracked me. Thank you for that. Thank you. So
I'm
we just
glad.
have 1 or 2 minutes to go, and there's another question for Emmanuel. It says, in the situation of trying to build a relationship with an opposite gender, when the distance seems to be a barrier, how do you build trust with that? Okay, this is a trust issue when it's a long distance relationship. So just 1 minute so we can bring up the second topic again. Thank you.
Okay. So what I would just say, long distance relationship require a lot more energy to put on than being physically together. What this means is that you got to load data, guy. That's just what I would say. You have to be intentional doing things together. Even thank God for technology that has evolved over time. You can even watch movies together
Yeah.
online now, right? You can do things
Wow.
together. You can carry each other along with your day-to-day activities. Don't stop picking their calls. They are calling you 10 times. Be like, didn't you know I'm at work? Send a message to say, oh, babe, I'm at work now. I'll call you back in 10 minutes. Same, as in, you have to be extra intentional about building trust in a long distance relationship than physically, because this person is not where you are. They're going to imagine things when you're not picking their calls, and it's normal. They're going to imagine things. So you have to be there. You have to intentionally create time that you spend together, if it's possible, every day at a certain time. Talk about your day. Let them carry each other through your entire day. What happened during the day. You have to just sacrifice. I think I'll wrap that up with that.
Thank you very much. If you are listening to or you are currently listening, I want you to just send a smiley or emoji, anything appreciating our coach, the first speaker
Thank
for
you.
tonight. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for this.
Thank
In
you.
fact, maybe we have to promote this because it's recorded. So a lot of people need to listen to this. It's not like people have not probably listened or yes stuff like this all the time, but we need to continually hear it, especially this love thing. Man. This love thing is a while.
Yeah.
So when you love, like all the lessons that you learn, you just feel like they are lying. So I think
Yeah.
people need to learn this more. Thank you very much, Coach.
You're welcome.
Really grateful. So yeah, thank you. Bye,
Bye.
guys. Please show off, send messages. Say thank you, Coach. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So right now we are about to bring a second speaker for today. This is like the top. This is another thing that is very important as a student. Although ASU is on strike and it's been months, but then as a student, I think we should not bound by. I feel that currently we should not be bound by what is going on with ASU strike alone. If at the moment you are stuck because ASU is stuck, then you need to do something. You shouldn't be stuck when ASU, although it should affect, but you shouldn't be stuck. You should not just pause your life and wait till ASU is done. No, you shouldn't. So There are two ways to this. The first way is what we are going to be talking about today. The second way is what we are going to be talking about tomorrow. You don't miss tomorrow's session. By his biography tomorrow, you will know that yes, tomorrow is like the cap. All right. So tonight we are bringing up our second speaker, Bamidele Isaac. Or Bamidele Isaac. He's going to be talking about how to excel as a student, how to excel as a student. You know, school na scam. There are still very much advantages with school, right? With schooling. I believe in education, I believe in schooling, but I think another problem with our schooling system in Nigeria is not just about infrastructure and the resources, human resources that we have. I think another thing is the student. Is a student. If you read the way you read, the way you try to learn is very much important. For me, I always say it all the time. I don't read to pass examinations alone. No, and that's why when I is on strike for me, I'm not stuck, right? I can do a lot of things with what I've learned so far. I don't read to pass it. It's like 2 days ago, one of my classmates messaged me say, hello, this is what you are doing on Instagram. I always sleep on your page and all of that. You make these things look so simple. It's me bringing education to what I've learned because I learned to understand. So because of our time, let me bring up Bamidele Isaac and Isaac Ituno. Here is his biography. He is a professional educator. He's a social change enthusiast and a founder. He is a graduate of the University of Ilorin, Nigeria, with a double honors in biology and has been actively involved in Nigeria educational revamp as an education leader. He's a passionate SDG4 advocate with various projects and initiatives ameliorating the future of education and modeling working systems in Nigeria education sector. He's the founder and team lead of Giddy to School Nigeria, where the learners discover their potentials and, and prospect truly using education as a tool for national development. He has worked with various local and international organizations like Teach for All Network, Unite 2030, World Literacy Foundation, their World Global. All right. So finally, because of our time, let's welcome Bamidele Isaac to have me today. Guys, I want to see you say something in the comment. Say something. Say something. Welcome, Isaac.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Uh, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me to be hub. I don't know why my video is not coming up. I don't know. I put it on, but I'm sure you can hear me,
We
right?
can see. I can see you actually.
Oh, nice. I don't know. It's like maybe a glitch on my hand, or I can't see myself. Maybe it's
Yeah.
also better that way. Anyways, I'm so I'm so happy to be here tonight. Like seriously, and I feel honored to have accepted your invitation to come, pay my beats to speak about the set topic tonight. It's been a real rare privilege, and I appreciate you for that. And thank you for all that you're doing. I mean, well done. Yeah. So, the topic you gave me to talk about is really a very interesting topic. Like it carries so much weight. Like when I started thinking about it, I was just looking at how to balance these things and say so much in so little time. But I'm going to try my best to make sure that the application comes out so that my listener can get the most of what they're supposed to get, right? I mean, it's easy because we all at some point have been learners. I mean, we all are still learners. For people like us, learning never ends. So I don't know if I can share my screen now, if it's possible share my screen. Um, can you see my screen, please? Can you see my screen? Um, please, if you can see my screen, please kindly just probably just use the chat box or something, so I would know I'm not alone here. Probably the coordinator just probably come back and let me know I'm not alone, so I can continue. Thank you. So while we wait for that, I seriously want to believe everybody can hear me and you can see my screen. So yeah. All right, all right. Can you see my screen? Can you hear me? Oh, thank you. Which of the yeah? Like, can you see my screen and you can hear me at the same time, so I can just shoot? All right. So without further ado, I'll just I'll just go to the presentation itself. So the topic I was given to talk about is how to excel as a student, and then it's a little tricky because the organizer said that it should be a combination of good, how to have good, then how to understand, not cramming. He was so particular about that. Then practical applications. Yeah. So first of all, I think uh, the first thing I think I should probably just stop sharing, so we can have it's looking like I'm not all into it. So how to excel as a student. So I kind of revamped it and changed it to something we can all relate with, uh, and come to terms with. So first of all, I want to go through the definition of terms, right? I tried to break it down into four different parts, which is when we're talking about being learning and academics and schooling. I mean, like the moderator said when we started, ASU is on strike right now. So it's like, why the hell should I even study? Or why the hell should I do anything about school? I mean, school is scam. And I hear this a lot, believe me. And the truth still means that education is still one of the, in fact, it's not one of the, it's the most powerful weapon to change the world. And Nelson Mandela wasn't, joking around when he said that word because it's actually true. When you look at education, you see, I think there is need for us to look at ways where education affects national development and how education impacts our lives as a person, change our exposure and shift us to a world of abundant realities, right? I mean, there are a lot of opportunities that you would never have gotten if you're not educated. I would not want to talk too deeply into that, but let's look at the geographical location of Nigeria right now. Look at the southwest, look at the southeast, and look at the north. I mean, these are statistics that speak for themselves. So education is still very, 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 very potent to having a self-reliant life and to be, a self-fulfilled person. All right. So looking at the definition of terms, what is excellence? I mean, there is need for us to define what excellence is by our books before we can actually say, okay, this is what I term excellence to be. So it's very, very important to know if I am a student and I'm gunning for excellence, what exactly do I mean by excellence? So because different things means different, different concepts means different things to different people. So my definition of excellence might be different from your definition of excellence. So there's a need for us to understand the specific approaches that we take to achieving academic successes and what have you. So I said here in my notes part that excellence is a feat. And when I said yes, yes, I know. Sorry, I put the slides off because I wasn't sure that it was working. So, however, if you want me to put it back up, it's back up now. And yeah, I'm not really getting my way around navigating it. It's not launching my Microsoft PowerPoint, which is why I It's not giving me access to move my mouse. Can you hear me, please? I think we should just do this. Mike want to check, then probably just move on. Okay, please. Can you hear me?
Talk to you.
All right. So it's like
We can hear
I
you and we
can't
can
move.
see live.
All right, but I can't move my slides. Like I don't have access to moving the slides. Like, I'm
Oh, oh.
kind of stuck. It's why I kind of shut it down in the first place. Uh, I don't know. Um, it's still here. Probably I should just use this. Okay, I think it's better, right? It's better now, right? Can you see this now? Can someone confirm if you can see this so I can just go right ahead? Please confirm if you can see this. All right, so let's just agree that we can see this. So I'll just go ahead. So what is excellence? Like I was saying, we need to define excellence personally before we can, push out and put our effort and energy into studying and so academics. So I said excellence is a feat. So we don't look at excellence as something that is probably I have A in this course. Well, that might be excellence for you, but in the long run, what is really excellence? So I said one route does not lead to excellence, and that's the truth, right? When I was in the university, I did a lot of courses, and I passed some excellently. I barely passed some, and I still came out excellent, right? So one route does not lead to excellence. So there are various ways people get to excelling. And so is excelling as a student. What do we mean when we talk about excelling as a student? Is it a one size fits all approach, or is it a long time? So I don't want us to fix our gaze on the fact that excellence is not a short term achievement. Excellence is a long term thing. So as you're preparing for uh, your academic stances, your academic feats, your academic prowesses, your academic stature, look at excellence as a study, going for something, that it is not just for now. However, every course you take, every subject you take, I know I have my students here. I am very, very certain I have some of my students right here, right now, and some of my, let me just say, mentee. So I'll just speak from my heart, right? I know I have a presentation to make, but I'm talking to you from wealth of experience of something you can learn from. So please do bear with me when I kind of digress a little from the slides. So how do I quantify good grades, right? And generally, when we're talking about good grades, we're talking about straight A students or at least B students, right? So we want to quantify good grades as someone that have A's in the subject or B's in the subject, at worst have a C or C4 thereabout. So let's take it like that. We're going somewhere, right? So the third one I'm trying to use to test the waters with you now is a question. Cramming of subjects matter, good or bad? Now this is very tricky because uh, it is generally believed that cramming is bad, right? So if I need to gain some certain fit dedication, some understanding, and the applicability of everything that I'm learning, right? Do I really need to cram, or is it good or is it bad? So we're going to look at these things now, and I don't want to bust the bubbles now, so I'm going to leave it a little suspense and just move ahead. Uh, I'll be able to do justice to it later. So then the fourth one, very interesting, understanding and application. And I'd like to say that we should pinpoint this very particular aspect because this is where learning actually comes in. This is where I know that my student is actually learning when they can bring the place of their understanding to application, not necessarily exams now, not necessarily the ability to answer the questions I've posed to them, but to bring out an understanding from what I've taught them to the place where they can apply it to solve problems. And I think this is where we are missing it in the educational sector of Nigeria. As far as it is concerned, we only study to pass, we do not study to solve problems. And if you look at the curriculum of Nigeria, everything in the curriculum is designed in such a way that you can apply everything you learn in class as basic as probably nutrition, or they call it home economics or food and nutrition is. You can totally use something from it, and after you leave secondary school, start up something on your own. So there is a direct linkage between learning and application, and that is why we go to school. So it's not. This is why I'll now come back to the point when I said schooling is not a scam, because what is missing in our schools is the application of knowledge, which will have earned a lot of us a lot of money because we are not applying what we have learned in the real life scenarios. We're not using what we have learned in school in the four walls of the classroom, in our mathematics, logical thinking, in our English. Probably you know how to write. You can write essays for people. You can write letters for people. You can write motivation letter. You can write statement of purposes. All of these things. I mean, these are direct things. They are freelances that you probably don't need any certificate for. They just need to see that you know what you do. You can do this thing. You can write. You can. I mean, all these things. The direct linkage between what we learn and application is actually what education means. And these are the things that accumulate to mean that the person is excellent, right? So follow me. So now I want to dive into the nitty gritty of today's presentation, and it's going to be really interesting. Now, looking at this slide, I put it up and I said the psychology of learning as it relates with excellence, right? So before you can achieve excellence, excellence, like I said, it's not just an end, it's a process. Of course, it's a feat, but then there are things that you do that accumulate to the point where you're excellent. You don't just become excellent, right? Go and study everyone that has become excellent. There's a process to it. So one of the processes to achieving academic excellence is the psychology of learning. And we will see how everything relates now and why many students are not really harnessing their potentials, even though they have the prowesses in them, right? I am of this opinion that I wrote a paper, a journal some months ago, and it was actually about the psychology of learning, and it unraveled a lot of things that every learner can learn. That's the truth. In as much as you are not afflicted with Down syndrome, which as a biologist we call Mongolism, you're not a moron. You can learn, right? Even morons can learn. It's just special needs students. They call them special needs students. Yeah. So everybody can learn. So what exactly is the reason why some people feel like, oh, I feel like I'm a dullard, or I feel like I'm dumb, I feel like I can't understand mathematics. I feel like mathematics is a Goliath for me, right? Is the psychology of learning. And we're going to look at how it relates with excellence now. We're going to look at, you see, I put a question mark on the floor. A lot of questions will coming up in your mind. Now, I want you to picture a particular subject that you have a very hard time studying, right? What could be the reasons why you can't study this particular subject? Why is it that every time you look at this subject, you find it like a very tough nut to crack? There are a lot of things that would come into your mind right now. Is it mathematics? Oh yeah, I had problem with mathematics while growing up. Even though I was a very, oh, I still am a very smart student because I'm still a student. I believe every one of us is still a student. I was still learning, right? So I had issues with my teachers. Some of my teachers then growing up. Long story, cut short, I decided I wasn't going to learn this man's work. I don't like him. So the psychology behind me not being able to learn mathematics, or the psychology behind me being mathematical disabled, was because I resent my teacher, right? Because of what he did to me, because of what she did to me, because of how she teaches me, because of all of these things, the psychology of learning. Apart from that, I've divided this thing into four different approaches, which is going to usher us into the next session, the next discussion that I'm going to have about excelling as a student. Right now, I read a particular drama by William Shakespeare. I can't remember the very title right now, but I love to quote this particular part because it is very, very peculiar and important, and I see it as a cross-sectional reference for everyone that has succeeded. And you can quote me on this. This particular thing I'm about to say, I've researched it, and I've seen that across board, everyone that has been successful, this is one thing that they have done that has earn them the self-awareness they need to excel in anything they do. And this is not just academics. I mean, this cuts across every portion of our lives too. So, and that is, I think it was the saying of Polonius, right? Polonius was saying to his son, this very son of his thought that his father doesn't like him, that his father hated him. So Polonius shocked him one day and he called him and he said, son, to thy own self be true, and as it is the sun to the head, thou canst be false to anyone else. I'll say that again. To thy own self be true, and as it is the sun is to the head, thou cannot be false to anyone else. What does that mean? This brings us to the place of self-awareness. Everyone that I've seen that has really successful in life knows who they are. I mean, this is the first thing, this is the first revelation that every successful person academically, business wise, you know, um, across all ventures have discovered about themselves. So it is very possible that a man is even, very, very good academically. You're a straight A student and you're not even, the it doesn't commensurate with what excellence should really be on the threshold and the frequency where you're operating on. So it's always very important that as students that is gunning for excellence, you want to have good grades, you want to, be understanding and not cramming and all of these things and the practical applications, you should know yourself. So it takes to the first thing, which is the case study approach. And so when I say the case study approach, what do I mean by the case study approach? Right? Uh, you agree with me that no two courses are the same, right? No two courses are the same. So the requirement for passing zoology is not the requirement for passing engineering. How I will study for medicine is not the way I will study for law. So there's a specific case study approach that you should be looking at. I was a biology student. There are a lot of things I need to do. I need to engage my mind. I need to engage my, photographic mind to be able to draw. I need to engage my, my cramming ability, and that is why I said cramming is it good or bad. So the thing is, you have to know yourself. You have to know what works for you, right? So there's some subjects that you need to cram. If you're a science student, I mean, how else do you know scientific names? Or is that sativa? It's not my language. It's not anything near Yoruba or English. So it's a scientific name. Most of the times, Latin, Greek, whatever. So you have to cram. I can totally say something and you'll be like, oh, what's this guy saying? Okay, for instance, say Magnifera indica. I mean, I just thought that's just mango, right? But then how did I know it? I had to cram it. But then when it comes to the approach or the nitty-gritty of, okay, we're doing homeostasis, it's the subject in biology, and I needed to explain something about homeostasis, like, okay, is the salt and water balance and this and that, and this work together, right? To make sure that there's something we call the exothermic endocrine system and the exocrine system. All of these things. I need to understand how this thing works. Because I can't cram that and say, of course, I can cram it on my exam and pass it, but then whenever I need to apply these things, then they're gone. Poof. And what's the essence of what I've learned, right? So this is what we are saying. It is one thing to pass exams. It is another thing to be able to apply what you have learned. So there's a specific case study approach to everything you're going to learn. And if you want to be successful, you want to be excellent, you need to know what approach works for your particular subject, for your particular course, for your particular undertakings. So it's very, very important. Apart from that, the other thing I like to talk about is the individual approach, or approaches as the case may be. So, and what do I mean here when I say the individual different approaches? A lot of people allow peer pressure to them into the canal, and this I see happens a lot of times to a lot of students. They just follow the crowd, and they're just swimming in the ocean of forgetfulness, forgetting who they are, self-awareness, how they learn best, right? What works for them. I read best in the night. I read best in the morning. I read best in the evening. Or I can read with my headset on. I can read, you have to know what works for you. Individual individual different approach. Peter and Paul are twins. Peter works differently. Paul works differently. The psychology of learning makes sure that no two people learn the same way. So you have to know yourself if you want to be really excellent in your studies. That's another thing, and it doesn't really, just relate to studies alone. You also have to apply that to your everyday life. I mean, these are the things that you have to put in mind and put in perspective, even everyday life, right? So therefore, you don't want to play comparison or comparison game with anyone. It's really just you and you competing against yourself. And I think it's really very important to let every student know that you're not competing against anybody. I mean, our contemporary society has really looked like if you're in school, it's you against the world. No, it's not like that. The person you're really competing with is yourself. And the more we get this understanding, we tend to focus on tapping into our unrealized potentials. If you're looking at Peter, then I'm looking at Paul. Paul uh, gets 10 in his work, and then I'm looking at what Paul does. I'm focusing my attention on how Paul, sits in class. How Paul, I'm just wasting my time because really I should be focusing on me. So individual difference approach is a very big thing in achieving academic excellence. The other one I like to talk about is mastermind. And when I say mastermind effect, this is a very deep topic. I'm not going to bore you with the details, right? Because in education, you want to talk about the mastermind, you talk about different theories of learning. Talk about the behaviorists, the constructivists, the BF Skinner. You talk about Pavlov. You talk about psychoanalysis, and all of these things, and how they affect learning, right? Well, I don't want to go into the details of that because it's really not needed. But what I like to talk about under the mastermind effect is this: if you believe that you can do it, you can. That is one sure rule. If you believe, um, I mean, I have undertook a lot of daunting itineraries. I've taken on a lot of very difficult and tedious projects, and I was able to pull them off. And this is me. I struggle with mathematics. Why? Then you start to wonder. It's really like a thing of the mind. It's not like my brain cannot build, you know, to cope with mathematics, but it's just the way I frame my mind. Like, I don't like that subject. So the mastermind effect is like if you believe in your heart, and this is where we say perspective is key, right? Belief is key. So you think that this lecturer, uh, he doesn't know how to teach, so well, I can't do well in this work. Then that's probably what you're going to see, right? If you think, well, this particular integration probably for the mathematics so difficult, I can't learn it, then that's your reality already. So there's a mastermind effect, and it's always important that we put ourselves in the realm of possibilities, express possibilities as a student. Your mind must be a, a field where everything is possible. Yeah. So I call it the mastermind effect because it is really, really important. And this is the hallmark of the psychology of learning. So if you think you can learn something, believe me, you put it down and you tell yourself you can do this, you can learn this, no matter how difficult they think it is. In fact, tell yourself it's not difficult. Because I think it's the Bible that says now that as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. It's not just a biblical rule; it's a general rule, right? So that's I want to give you this trick now. If you think this subject is hard, tell yourself this subject is not hard. If you think you can't know, you tell yourself, no, 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 I will understand this. And take steps, right? Take a few steps to engage to learn these things. And the fourth one, because of my time, I probably should be rounding up by now. If I still have some more time, I don't know. Is the 10th hour rule. The 10,000 hour rule, right? So if you're talking about the 10,000 hour rules, I have a source. I didn't just come about this particular edit, right? So I came across a book written by Malcolm Gladwell. Oh shoot! Before the book, I um, I attended his TED talk, and he was talking about the 10,000 hour rules. Uh, and so I was attracted to the book by Malcolm Gladwell. He called the title of the book Outliers, and it was really explaining how the likes of Bill Gates, the like of Billy Joy, all these people at Silicon Valley, this multi-billionaire people in the world of investment today, how they actually gained expertise. And he said, expertise can never be gained in any turf unless you have exhausted the 10,000 hour rule. And what does that mean? He did a very critical analysis of everyone that has gained expertise in their field. It was really interesting. I recommend the book for every academics, everyone to read, in as much as you want to be outstanding. He really mapped out a lot of outstanding people in that book. That in fact, when I read them, I was really overwhelmed myself. Like, my God, like these people are really outliers. Because called the title of the book Outliers. They really are outliers. Like they are really people that resonate on the different frequencies because they have mastered the art of study. Really, that is it. So if you really want to gain expertise, a lazy person does not gain excellence. That's the truth. You go and ask everybody that has gained excellence, that have reached a feat, or they will tell you how they got there. So you really have to, uh, be focused on gaining expertise. And I mean, for learning, uh, look at our educational system. I mean, we run the 6334 education system in Nigeria. Calculate all the years you have used. I mean, I have exhausted the 6334, right? That's like 6 plus 3 plus 3. That's 9. That's 12, right? That's 16 years in school. Now, divide 16 years. How many hours have I used in school? You probably might have exceeded the 10,000 hour rule, which means as an academic, as a student, already at this point, you are excellent, really. So probably it's just the mastermind effect. You just might be the only thing that is limiting you, right? So I think I should move on from here. But I think uh, I want to talk about motivation, but I think it's in the next slide. So to sum up my presentation, I have a few useful tips to acing your examinations, right? I think I've tried to talk about the case study approach, the individual difference approach, the mastermind effect, which is the world of possibilities, right? And the 10,000 hour rules, which is what you need to actually gain expertise in any type of work that you find yourself. Amazing, amazing rules. Uh, and it's going to help you a lot as a student, right? These are practical examples that I'm bringing out forward. So, what's the first thing anybody can learn, right? That's the first thing I'll tell any of my students for you to gain excellence. That's what I'll tell any student out there, myself inclusive, because I'm still a student, right? So, this is the trick anybody can learn, really. If you find it hard, read it again, right? So, so what? Some people read it before. I mean, challenge yourself a little bit, give yourself something to work about. I mean, when you see something that is hard to crack for you, like a nut, you're like, no, I'm going to do this thing. And the satisfaction that comes when you actually do it gives you, like you've graduated in your belief system that you can achieve anything. So and this is also applicable in acing your examinations, really. Yeah, I know as is on strike and everything, and you feel like uh of what use is everything that this person is saying, none of this. Why I assure you, you're going to need this a lot in the long run. Like I said, excellence is not a one-time thing; it's something you accumulate over the time. And should I post everything and just cap it up and say excellence is a passion? Yeah. There are points where we get to and you be like, oh, this person is just excellent, right? That means that person has mastered the art of diligence to the point where every food that he brings forth in his itineraries is just excellent. It just exudes excellence, right? So you can learn whatever it is that you think is difficult for you. Yeah, you can learn. Researches are proving that you can learn. So if you find it hard, read it again, and that's how to go about it, really. So another thing is be present. I deal with this a lot with my students because you just see many of them in class. They really are not present in class. And of the truth, I know I didn't want to go into the nitty gritty of assimilation. Yeah, there's another psychology of assimilation where we talk about learning. Some people just teach them in class and they can grab it, right? Some people they have to go the extra mile. We have fast learner, we have slow learner, we have snails when it comes to learning. But the central point is everybody learns, right? So your approach to how you present yourself to learning is what you get out of it. So if you're present, be present both mind and body, right? You're in class, make sure you take your notes, make sure you are attentive, listen to what they are teaching, right? If you're going to be in school, I mean, be in school, really be in school. They used to say something. They say, as you pass through the school, let's show you. It's actually not just a slogan. It's an application, right? What is worth doing at all is worth doing well. So make sure you are present. Give it your all. If you're not going to go to school, uh, we shouldn't be here, right? And I just thank God that we are here, and we are also adding to the number of the index of the number of people that are literate in Nigeria. I mean, this even calls for celebration. I think that's another topic we shouldn't digress. So number three is to have a positive mindset. I think I've talked about this when I was talking about the mastermind effect. So you always have a positive mindset towards that you can learn it. Uh, then record perfect notes in class. Yeah, this is one thing that is very very important. Also, I know this is might be an exception to the rule. Some people don't even need notes, right? You just need to listen to what the teacher has said in class. Get a few things from here and there, and they are good. But for some of us, we have to go through our notes. So please, you record perfect notes in class. One of the few things that helps people to have a record of something to get back to prepare for the exams. So yeah, the next one is give the pet some candy. So what's the concept behind this word give the pet some candy? So I've set some target for myself that I'm going to read for people that probably University of Ilorin and University of Ilorin, you're in any Nigerian university. And when it's exam time, there's something we call uh, TDB, call it till daybreak, right? So what does it mean till daybreak? It means if anybody says it's going on TDB, it's going all night reading. So that's what TDB means. So most of the times when I go on TDB and many other people go on TDB, you see yourself in class reading like tomorrow no day, right? So then what do I mean by give the person candy? I do something. I make sure that I get myself a lot of probably chocolates or sweets or cookies or something, right? And in my own little ways that I can afford, right? So this is my book, right? I have segmented it into three parts. So the moment I read the first part, and I understand it clearly, I give myself a pat on the back. Like I pat myself on the back, like, oh, it's you have done well. Then I take some candy, or I take some. I know it's funny, but it's in psychology we call it incentives. We call it incentives. It works because I know that for the second section that I'm going to take on, that I've divided, that I'm going to read, and that I must understand. If I don't read it and understand it, I'm not going to get any more candy, right? And I'm so disciplined to that extent, right? Just like a says to his child, if you can come first position in class, I'm going to buy you a toy car. And that boy keeps running all around and like, I'm going to learn, I want to become the first position in class. I mean, they did it for me while I was small and it worked, right? They told me that my dad, when he's coming back, he's going to bring a police car, for a boy, a small boy. All I wanted was to just play with a toy car. So I'm always in my book, reading and reading and reading. And it worked. I mean, during that frame of time, I remember when I was in, I think, primary one, my first year, my first term in that very year, I took first position. Second term, I took second position. Then third term, I took first position. It was really awesome. Like, it worked. So it works. Really, the reward system works. If you can trick yourself to to put yourself in a reward kind of psychology, it works. So give the pet some candy. If you've done something that is worth the the accolade, please give yourself some pats on the back. Oh, say, oh, little girl, you're doing well. Oh, I'm proud of you. Oh, you can do more. Oh, you can do better. It works really, even for adults. Believe. So the next one is, what exactly do you want? When I say what exactly do you want, it's important for you to set expectations. For the new term, I want to have, I'm doing nice subject. I want to have nice straight A's. It's always important to set what I want, to set what you want, to set what you want to achieve. Because they say if you shoot for the sun, even if you're not going to reach the sun, you fall amidst the stars, right? So it's always important to have a high target for yourself where you want to go. Because I mean, what do you stand to lose? It gives you a gaze, it gives you something to fix your eyes upon when you're studying for the exams, right? So sit down and ask yourself, sit back, evaluate everything. Okay, here are my courses, here are my subjects for the term. Here is what I want to do. What exactly am I expecting? What do I think I need to do? Okay, I know I have issues with mathematics, and this subject is mathematically related. Uh, what do I expect in this subject, right? In this course, right? Then the next one is, how do I climb my stairs? So we know that we need a little effort to climb the stairs, right? So I have recognized that this particular subject, after I've recognized um, what I want in all of my courses, I see that, oh, this one will be a little bit harder for me to have an A, right? So I try as much as possible to put in a foresight into how to accomplish my missions, right? How do I climb my stairs? What do I need to do to, uh, you know, uh, uh, to accomplish, to get my A's, to get my B's, if it is B's you want, if it is A's you want. And I mean, it works wonders. Write it somewhere, get a journal. I mean, it's always good, not like I'm imposing now, right? It's always good that as students, we have records of accountability. Records of accountability. You will always have to hold yourself accountable. For many of us, that we've have this independent mind right from when we were small, that you have to push yourself. It's not like really you have some support system from somewhere that is pushing you, that is giving you reinforcement or motivation. You have to keep some journals, you have to keep some accountability sheets somewhere. Okay, I've not read today. I've not, you have to be very, very particular about what you do. Just like what the person that had the session yesterday said, to get scholarship, and I think it goes hand in hand, right? Nobody is going to give you an opportunity on the platter. You have to work for it. And apparently so. In fact, you will be, so you just have to be prepared. It's not that I'm scaring you, I'm not scaring you, right? So the next thing is study, don't just read. And talking about this, I think some of my students that are right now on this live session will be laughing, because I always tell them this: reading is different from studying. And I think it is high time we got that. So if you're reading, I might just carry my book and I read, and then I close it. And what have you read? Necessarily doesn't need that I have gained something from what I've read. But if I've studied, what does it really mean to study, right? So I'm doing chemistry 101, right? Or slide 101. We call it slide 101, zoology 101. And so this man came to class, the lecturer, and he gave us just his notes, right? And probably the title of the course itself is probably organic chemistry, right? What do I need to do? As a studious student, I go online, I take that particular topic into Google search box, and I search for relative and useful materials on that particular course, right? And then as I do that, I get more information. I get more useful materials. I get more useful insights into what this person is teaching me. So when the person is teaching me in class, I don't just rely on what he's teaching me. I'm also, extending the courtesy to visit other materials that deepens and widens my understanding of what he's teaching me. So before you know it, you have 2, 3 materials to read on the same subject in collaboration with your notes. That's studying. And that's how to actually, sail through, really. And then you see yourself having deeper understanding. This is how I totally read. And I mean, this is how, it's different from, like I said, it's not a one size fits all approach. There are some subjects that you have to, I have a lecturer that once told me, I will not mention the course now, because some of my people might actually get to see this and be like, "Okay, you are casting us." He totally told us, See, what I give you, give me back. Because the concepts are just so rigid that you can't understand them. In fact, I don't want to say more than that, because if I go more than that, they will know what I'm saying. They will know who I'm saying. So it's just so, like this, like this, like this, and you have to give it back to me like this, like this. There are some courses like that. And for those kind of courses, you might need your cramming prowess, right? But we're talking about studying, you really have to understand. You really have to take your time. And studying takes time. Studying is not something you do within 30 minutes and say you have studied. No. Study is in-depth. Study is like research. Study is an in-depth dive or deep dive into what you're supposed to learn. And the next thing I like to talk about is keep focused company. Yes, it is true that the people you have around you will shape the kind of grades that you're going to have. It is totally true, perfectly true, completely true, absolutely true. So if you have people that are not serious with their studies, you don't have people that have the same focus as you, the same life ambitions as you, the same gaze as you. It's going to be hard to keep up with all this hectic routine of being an excellent student, right? You need to really know, like, that's why I say you need to really know what you want, know exactly what you want, know what you're willing to give to this thing that you want, know that for every price there is a sacrifice, right? So you need to keep a focused company. Show me your friends, and I'll tell you how excellent you're going to be. Apart from that, you see questions, 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 right? And more questions. So what I'm actually saying here is ask a lot of questions. This is something that I did that I'm not really proud of. And I don't want it to fall into the same pit. I mean, throughout my 4 years in school, I asked questions just once. And I mean, it was a kind of a premeditated stuff from when I was back at home. My mom would be like, please, because he knows, she knows, I beg your pardon, that if I don't understand something, I'm not letting it go. So I might have longer held the lecture. So she warned me, please, as you're going to school, do not have issues with any lecturers, right? So I kept that in my hand, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to be noticed by any lecturer. I'm not going and it affected me. Although I tried to make up for it after I, was about leaving school, I started making, profitable networking and alliances with my supervisors, with other lecturers, right? But it is always cool because if you ask questions, you get clarity, right? You get clarity. And the last one is, I said the last step is more key, right? It's health management. And health management is king. And what do I mean? It is very possible that you have read. Yes, you have read. I know you have read. I know you have studied, right? I know you have done a whole lot to keep things in motion, to keep things running, right? You are now, you have read and you are going to have straight A's. But if you don't have a good health management, you're still going to fail. And it's not a curse. It's not a curse. Like, it has once happened to me before, right? All right, all right. All right, thank you. I'm just going to round up now. So, what happened? I have this exam and I went to play football, right? And I had a muscle spasm on my leg and I couldn't sleep throughout the night. And the following morning, I have exams, right? And so I couldn't read. And it's because that I have this course that I have is a course I can just read over the night and pass, right? And so I almost failed because I didn't pay much attention to my health. So please always pay attention to your health when you're writing exam. This can capsize everything you have planned for when you're planning exam. Know the routine you subject yourself to when you're writing exams. Know what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to be, what you're not supposed to do. And then the last thing, which is my takeaway from this session, as you can see on the screen, you might probably just be reading it already. Everyone might not be a genius, correct? Like the classification of what a student and what a student should be or is by intelligent quotient, right? From the world view perspective. But you are a genius, really. You're capable of mind blowing feats, and you owe it to yourself every day to explore your mind, to know who you are and who you're not. You have to see what works for you and what doesn't work, right? Perhaps you might be the next messiah the world is looking for. So you owe it to yourself to never give up on yourself. And that is from me. Thank you very much for this session. I think
wow.
Stop it here.
Wow. In fact, this is great one. Let me start with, because of our time, let me start with a question from your last point, which is about health. We are talking about your health is important. So let me share this. I think I've shared this story a lot of times. Um, there was a time, you see, I love reading books, no matter the kind of book it is. So 3 days ago, I was with my cousin, and she was preparing for an international exam, right? And she was reading insurance, and I took the book and I was reading. I was like, oh, it's actually that's by the way. What I was saying is there was this particular time I was preparing for an examination. My own style of reading is I must have prepared right from the beginning of the semester that during the exam period I do not read as much. I just read, just review is what I always do during exam time. But this particular period, I haven't prepared even till the day before the examination. And that examination, the examination day is happened to be my birthday. So
Wow.
number one, I had to read. I had to read. Number two, I had to receive calls and all these 12 a.m. birthday
Yeah.
wishes. Fortunately for me, I was able to do everything together. I read my book cover to cover. But I got to the exam hall and I could not write anything.
Look at that.
Like when I read question one, I know what I'm supposed to, but I could not bring myself to reason out. It's in my head, but I could not bring it out.
To process
So
it.
that was when I realized that my style is not. Some people a day before is what they do. They just pour it down. But for me, it's not like that. So yeah, what do you say about students understanding their style of reading, of learning?
Yeah, is that the question?
Yes, sir. I said, what do you like? What can you put about say about that? Like understanding your style of learning.
I mean, understanding yourself, like I said, self-awareness is very key. Like
Hmm.
you don't want to read like another person. You don't want to look at somebody else. You really, the focus should be on you. I mean, you're the person we're talking about here. You're the one gaining excellence. So why should I be looking at you, for instance, because probably we're classmates, you see yourself as, and I think we should not see people as competitors. We should not see people as competitors. We should rather see them as partners. I think
Hmm.
that helps us a lot to shift our perspective. So you really need to know yourself. Like me, if I really want to understand, I can read, fairly with all the approaches, right? I can read a day before, I can read 2 months
Hmm.
before, I can read 10 minutes before, and I'll still be able to do something. But then you really can't compare yourself with
Hmm.
someone that doesn't read at all. I mean, he's in class, and everything the lecturer is saying, everything the teacher is saying is in his head already, and it's set for the
True.
exams.
True.
And,
True.
and believe me, I have this kind of people. And if you do like them,
I have to. I have a friend.
you're going to fail,
Hmm.
really. Because you see them jumping around, all around. I'd be like, look at my party now, he's playing. Let me also play. So the thing is actually you. It's not any other person. Just know yourself.
You.
Just know yourself.
Great, great one. I also have a friend like that. The day I realized that this is just him. That was when I stopped looking looking like I had to
Exactly.
copy
I
him, so
mean,
I had to focus on my because for me, if I'm not reading that in 3 times, I probably may I'll understand. But there are some lecturers, just like you said, there are lecturers that want la cram la ball. So
mhm.
so you just have to give it to them. So the next question
Yeah.
of our time in another 2 minutes will be done. If you have a question, please put it here while I ask my second question. In your session, you also talk about motivation. That's incentives. I really love that a lot, and I think people don't do that. Most of the time, people don't do that, and it might not just be materialistic. It can just be in. For me, for example, I learned something recently, and I started implementing it. Somebody said that for him, he has 3 days in one day. Like the 24 hours for him is not one day. Is at the end of the 24 hours, he has used 3 days. So, and how what was the criteria to do this? It's just segmenting his plan for the day. So, for example, for me, I also divided my day into one day into two. So my day one start from 4 a.m. to around 12 noon. And when I realize that I've done what I'm supposed to do for that day by 12 noon, I give myself an incentive. And guess what the
Exactly.
incentive is? It's just 30 minutes or 1 hour or 1.5 hour. Maybe I can just go out and do something, or I just take a nap and sleep for. Then when waking up, or 1 hour, 30 minutes, I'm entering into my second day, which is starting by this. They have to, so incentive, as I was saying, might not just be materialistic. But my question is this: for example, if I'm not doing sweets or cookies, should I not be scared of jelly jelly, or because I've actually heard of somebody that and all this thing becomes at the end of the day, it's an habit. It gets to become an habit. So you realize that when you're reading, you really need to have a sweet, or maybe you are used to that. You start realizing that at the end of the day, that sweet is now, it's no more an incentive. It's now an habit
An
that can,
addiction.
even if you don't have it, you cannot really learn very well. So my question now is, anything about that?
Yeah. Thank you very much for that question. I mean, I have a friend that got stuck with nicotine addiction. She was a medicine she was a medicine student. She was a medicine student, and then she reads every night, and then to keep up with that pace, she had to get addicted to the caffeine fix. Like I said, I didn't just say, I said for me, because I know how I manage myself, right? So, and like I said, it might just be a pat on the back, or say, oh, guy, you're doing well, like you're doing amazingly well. It's just motivation, like you know. We have two types of motivation. We have intrinsic motivation. We have extrinsic motivation. So extrinsic motivation is like, okay, you give yourself something. It might not be like, okay, for doing this, it's you know what? I'm going to take you to KFC. You deserve to get a chicken or a package or
Yeah.
something. You understand? Yeah. I might just be, you know what? I give you kudos. It's I clap for you. That's intrinsic. I'm trying to motivate myself, and I think every human being needs that at some point to achieve a lot of amazing feats.
Great, great. Thank you. So, because of our time, let me take this question from YouTube. It says that by Ashade, is it medically advisable to read in the midnight? Very
Okay.
good question.
Now, now Ashade is my student.
Oh, great, great, Ashade.
Ashade is my student. But anyway, yes, like well, it depends on the routine you put yourself on, right? For instance, if you have 24 hours in the day, and in that 24 hours, you know that you're entitled to at least a 6 hour sleep, which is needed to get you
Hmm.
refreshed, right? So,
Yeah.
how about we divide that sleep, right? You get 3 hours now, you read, then you sleep. You can even use that as motivation, right? Okay, I'll read this time, I'll sleep. Okay, like when I was in school, and I used to do TDB. When I go to class by at night, 7, 8, I sleep till 12, right? I sleep till 12. Then I read from 12 to 5, non-stop, right? Then from 5 again, I go to my hostel. I sleep. Then I go for my normal school activities. The following day, the same thing, right? So it has almost become a routine. and my body, my body is actually, kind of used to it. As a matter of fact, anytime I see a breaking point in my health symptoms, I take a break. Because if you're sick,
Mm.
you can't learn. If you're sick, in fact, they will have to take you back home, right?
True.
So
True.
there's always good to know your health, your red signs, your red flags when it comes to your health, right? And your studies, right? Apart from that, there's even something they call mental spasms, right? It has
Mhm.
happened to me once in my life, just once. And it's a point where you reach, probably you've taken too much pressure on, and your brain starts to misbehave. It happens like just in a period of,
Whoa.
yes, like 2 seconds, and then you know that you are losing it. You just have to go and rest. So I had to drop everything and rest. It doesn't matter. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, just rest that head, right? So it's always good to respond to your body when it's speaking to you. The body always speaks. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, thank you very much. You could have just answered the next question, which is potential discovery, but we have to go right now. So thank
Yeah.
you for very much, Isaac Bamidele. Thank you. I appreciate this was a
No.
great one. Understanding how to learn, how to understand that sometimes you even need to, cram. Yes, in Nigeria we have to cram formulas.
Yeah.
So even if in the reality you don't need to cram the formula, you just need to check it. You know.
Mhm, mhm.
Thank you guys for today. Tomorrow is the last day, and it's going to be about how to get, how to start earning as a student. Don't forget our theme for this session is study, earn, and love. We've talked about study, we've talked about law. Now the earning aspect is tomorrow. As a student, I believe that you can be a student and still make ends meet for yourself or support those that are helping you. You can support them. You can start earning. Or another thing aside earning is preparing yourself for the labor market. There's no job out there. There's no job. Some people they are very sure that when they get out there, they will definitely get a job. You know why? Because they already. So it's not like themselves or that told them that it is how much they're preparing themselves for the labor market. For example, myself, I always tell myself that I don't want to. I always choose the jobs that I want, right? Because I know what I can bring to the table. So I'm a spec. so, so what I'm saying in essence is, while you're studying, you need to prepare yourself for the labor market. As a student, you see, some of them will ask for 10 years of experience. You can give them even before you graduate. You can have that experience. It's possible. For me, they ask me to bring my experience even when I'm a fresh grad. I can give them at least 5 years of experience. Look at imagine ASU has already even given guys like 6 months, then you do IT for another 1 year, then that's about 1.5 years. Then holidays, if you compile all the holidays together, it's about 1.5 years. So 3 years of experience before you graduate. Who can say, you can give something out? So this is what I can do. This is what I can bring to the table. So don't miss tomorrow. Thank you. Let's say thank you to all our speakers tonight. If you're watching this later, people will watch this later. Just say a word of appreciation to MM and Bamidele Isaac. Thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. If you are not on the group where we share the details, visit tunia.com, click on the WhatsApp icon showing on your screen, and you'll be able to message us on WhatsApp. We can add you to the group where all the details will be shared. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow. Have a great night. Tumi Hop loves you. Bye. So wait for our back end to close. You can leave now. We are done. Thank you, guys.